So today, we're diving into Claressa Shields, and this round comes with family business attached. We're stepping into family-related tension here, because if memory serves me right, isn't this the same sister who's had ongoing problems before? Problems so serious that Claressa Shields allegedly provided her sister with a home, only for that house to later be removed and reassigned to a friend. Similar to how her alleged ex-fiancé once had access to a car, but after their split, it was repossessed and allegedly passed along to Pop. Is that the situation we're looking at here? Is that really what we're dealing with here? Before we break down what the sister has recently put out there, I want to roll a clip of something Claressa Shields previously said about her family. She spoke on staying silent when money enters the picture. You know what I'm saying? She also talks about faith and God, about recognizing when certain people shouldn't be in your life, yet somehow not seeing that same clarity when it comes to being publicly and questionably involved with Remy Ma's husband. Help me understand how that adds up. So that's where we're starting first. And trust me, this backstory matters because it frames everything else we're about to unpack.
If I get too off and I really flip out, I'm going to go to jail. That's why I keep this girl far out my sight, far out my view, far out my space. I don't talk to her. I don't text her. I don't do anything because this girl already know how I'm cut for real. When you know you really like that, you already know. You got to protect yourself and stay, because once I flip, I'm telling you, I already know what I'm going to do. And she know what I'm going to do. That's the thing that blows me with this family. They all like, oh, Claressa got anger problems. This is why. I have been working on it, but y'all want to keep poking, lying, trying to fuck up my career. And then when I flip and catch you and do what I'm gonna do to you, I'm being in jail. I have a big cousin who literally sits and preys on my downfall for the past 8 years. For those who don't know, I have been in serious talks about a big major deal that I've already signed for and that I'm going to be announcing. That's why I've been keeping my mouth shut, keeping my nose clean, ignoring all type of fools, family, trolls. I've been ignoring a whole lot of people because I know what I have coming up is really big, and God told me, peace be still, and I need you to be quiet. So in that season, even though it was time to clap back and get in some people, I decided to be quiet. So now that I have signed my deal and got what I deserve, now I done had to let people know. One of my cousins had been out to get me for a very long time, and it got to the point to where even I tried to be back cool with her to make sure that she didn't ruin my deal that I was working on. She called my sister who's at my house because I moved my sister out the hood, her and her 3 kids. Yes, I did. Cousin decides to call my sister and tell her and tell her to make a GoFundMe. Excuse me, I'm gonna say it again. She convinced my sister to make a GoFundMe page, as if that wouldn't be a bad reflection on me. And for some reason, my younger sister, who's smart as hell, don't see how that's a bad look on my image, and left the post. And when I call.
So once again, it's worth pointing out how interesting it is that Claressa Shields clearly understands how people can damage your reputation, especially when it comes to constant back-and-forth drama with family. Somehow, she was able to reconnect and reach out when money became a factor, yet at the same time, she can't seem to recognize that being involved with a married papoose and repeatedly pushing papoose in front of the public is also harmful to her image. It directly contributes to all this heightened attention, the growing negativity, and the non-stop scrutiny surrounding her right now. She's able to admit it when the issue involves her family, but when it's my man, or should I say her entanglement, since that is Remy Ma's husband, suddenly the awareness disappears. You don't see it. You don't see the red flags. You don't see the issue at all. There's no finalized divorce, there's no divorce decree, and this situation has been going on for how many years now, with Remy Ma and Papoose allegedly being separated, and you don't find any of that questionable? You don't find any of that suspicious? So next, we're going to move into what the sister is claiming, you guys. And you know, depending on where some of you are located around the country, there's been a major snowstorm lately. A lot of snow, a lot going on, all of that. With that said, we're now going to shift into what the sister has to say. So let's go ahead and listen.
Good, bro. Somebody really just broke in my house. And it is so weird because some they kicked the door. It was like, boom. My first instinct, Gemini room right across from mine. Grab and he just threw his ass in my room. You already know, Suki already in my room. I go get fed at him, smack his ass on his back. And I got, bitch, smack his ass up. He instantly grabbed his, started breaking in the house. Somebody breaking in my house. Somebody breaking in my house, bro. Then on top of that, it's like, boom, boom. Bitch, why ain't nothing, bro? Somebody had to keep my shit. I'm mad as bro. I'm pissed off. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I'm bullshitting now. I don't want to be here.
So I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little thrown off here. I'm genuinely confused. Let me try to understand this clearly. Was this supposed to be a break-in where some unknown person kicked the door in and your immediate reaction was to rush to someone's room and then some kind of physical struggle or tackling happened? That's how it's coming across to me. But then, toward the end of the story, it's alleged that someone already had a key to the house. And if someone has a key to the house, how exactly is that a break-in? That doesn't sound like an outside job at all. That sounds like something coming from inside. So which one is it? Is it truly a break-in, or is it an inside situation where someone already had access to the home? Because that's the very first thing that needs to be clarified, right? That's what we have to sort out before anything else. And on top of that, regardless of how you slice it, Claressa Shields' sister is saying, listen, I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe here anymore. And here's the issue with that. If anyone other than you and the family living in that house has a key, that alone is questionable. That alone is a red flag. And I also have another question. Why are there no security cameras, no ring cameras, no doorbell cameras, nothing? You know what I'm saying? Nothing that sends alerts to your phone, no notifications, no text messages saying, hey, someone's at your front door, or there's movement in your backyard, or any activity around the entry and exit points of the house? Like, what is really going on here? What's the setup? What's really good out here? Now, I can already hear the other side of this argument coming because I know how this goes. The question becomes, is this the home that Claressa Shields helped pay for or contributed to? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. And if it isn't, then people are going to ask, is Claressa Shields' responsibility to step in and help her family, to do this or do that, to cover X, Y, or Z? And people are going to have very different opinions on that too, right? Because for some people, no matter how irritating your family can be, no matter how much they get on your nerves or push your buttons, if you have the money and the ability, you're still going to help them. You're still going to do whatever you can to support them, whether that's financially or in any other way they might need. That's just how some people are built. But then you also have the reality of Claressa Shields' family history. Family members who have talked to bloggers, who have gone online, who have spilled tea about her. Even former friends have come forward with stories. And depending on the details, depending on the context, sometimes people believe it and sometimes they don't. Sometimes people feel like, oh, they're just upset because they don't have access to Claressa Shields' money anymore, so now they're chasing attention. And in those moments, people might feel sympathetic and say, okay, I understand why Claressa Shields keeps her distance or has strained relationships if folks are constantly running to blogs and social media with everything. At the same time, I feel like there has to be some kind of middle ground by now. Something has to give, whether that's non-disclosure agreements or some kind of clear boundary system, because this doesn't feel like it's going to stop. It doesn't feel like Claressa Shields' family is going to suddenly stop going online, stop posting, stop doing interviews with bloggers until they get whatever it is they feel they deserve. And if they believe they've been cut off financially, then the mindset becomes, well, I can get attention too. I can get clout too. I can get some notoriety out of this. But the serious part of all of this is the alleged break-in itself. If someone actually broke into the house, were the police called? Were authorities notified? What actually happened afterward? And once again, if someone had a key, then we're talking about an inside situation. So who else potentially has access to this home? That's where my confusion really comes in. How do you break down a door if this was an attempted robbery or something similar, but at the same time there's a key involved? Because a key suggests there was no forced entry. Or was it staged to look like a break-in? Were the keys already there during the scuffle? Like, the story has to line up. It has to make sense. So honestly, I don't know what to make of all of this. I really don't. But what I do know is there's been a long documented history between Claressa Shields and her family. Whether it's a sister, a cousin, or someone else, there's been years of back and forth. And I just find it interesting that boundaries can be discussed and enforced when it comes to family. But when it comes to Remy Ma's husband, there are no boundaries, no morals, no guardrails at all. You want to bring God into the conversation? But adultery is clearly addressed in the Bible. So what are we saying here? What are we really doing? What are we doing, Claressa Shields? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you're alerted every time I drop new content on the channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you all again very soon.